Hello, my name is April Belbach, and I serve as the Associate Vice Provost for Student Success and Advising. In this video, we're going to discuss how you, as a faculty or staff member who teaches first-year seminar, or really any course that approaches the first-year experience, can promote belongingness amongst our new students to improve their academic performance throughout their time at the University of Pittsburgh. In our quest to make Pitt a more inclusive and dynamic institution, we all have a part to play, and I'm so thankful for your support of student success initiatives. We know the transition to college can be challenging, especially at a large research institution like Pitt. Even the most seemingly confident and prepared students may have doubts about their ability to succeed in college. They might also have feelings of homesickness and academic anxiety, adding to their worries. Students often don't realize that their peers are going through similar struggles. This in turn creates feelings of isolation, confusion, and can make them question whether they belong at Pitt or even in college in general. Through the research, theory, and intervention that my team will describe, we hope that you find the importance in dispelling the idea that struggling with a college transition is a unique experience. Virtually all students find the transition to be challenging in one way or another. The intervention that will be described is empirically proven to improve students' sense of belonging at the university, which eases the negative feelings associated with the transition to a new environment, particularly for our at-promise student populations, including those who are first-generation, income-eligible, and from underrepresented minority backgrounds. I will now turn it over to the team to describe the research behind the intervention, the student development theory that proves the importance of interventions just like this one, and the step-by-step framework you can use in your classroom.
Hi, my name is Dr. Omid Fotuhi, a research associate in the Learning, Research and Development Center, or LRDC, here at the University of Pittsburgh. As humans, whenever there's a critical transition, we enter those transitions with some ambiguity that we have to navigate, with questions that loom large in our minds about the meaning of the events and the feelings that we have. These questions help us to decide further whether we are someone that does or does not belong in this environment, because from an evolutionary perspective, that is what we are designed to do. And we are also designed to decide whether we can cope it and cut it in this new context. This leads to pressures and feelings of uncertainty, which are heightened whenever especially we are in competitive environments such as college. As students enter in this new context, the question of do I belong is top of mind, and how these students make meaning, how they answer that question of do I belong, determines how they stay engaged or disengaged from the learning experiences presented to them. What these interventions that my colleagues have been speaking about, these in-class facilitated conversations do, is that they help to normalize the anxieties and the uncertainties that all students have. By doing that, you can shatter a core mechanism that makes this feeling of not belonging quite damaging. Because if you feel like you are the only one who feels this way, then maybe you start to infer some sort of validation that maybe there's a reason that I feel like this, or that I maybe shouldn't be here. But instead, if you're able to believe and perceive that your feelings of uncertainty are a normal part of any transition into a new environment, and that like all students, you come to feel like maybe feeling like I don't belong and I don't know if I can cut it here is normal, and recognize that these feelings do indeed pass with time, then that allows you to stay engaged and look for ways in which you have efficacy in this new environment. That is the purpose of these in-class conversations, by getting students to share and hear from their peers that the concerns and the uncertainties that they have and have had as they've navigated this transition, that these come to pass and that these concerns of uncertainties are common. They are normal and they have nothing to do with them, their gender, ethnic identities, or any of the backgrounds or even the lack of experience that they might believe they have, but rather are a normal part of any transition. And in so doing, you're able to create a stronger sense of connection and a stronger likelihood of getting engaged with the learning environment.
Hello, I'm Maggie Dykstra, the Academic Coordinator for the Kessler Provost Scholars Program in the Office of the Provost Student Success Hub. The transition to college is a particularly challenging shift because of the many ways in which a student's life changes. They are often in a new location, They have a new set of responsibilities, both academically, personally, and often financially. They may not have friends or family nearby to provide support, and this is, of course, their first time in college. From Schlossberg, we know that there are a variety of factors such as student background, social support, and coping strategies that influence whether students are able to cope with a transition. As Omid highlighted, during the transition to college, students are often faced with feelings of uncertainty about their ability to succeed and whether they belong regardless of their background. A sense of belonging is critical to a student's success in college. As you may know, a sense of connection is part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Lower level needs, like a sense of belonging, must be fulfilled before students can continue in their development towards self-actualization. In other words, figuring out who they are and their purpose. Without a clear sense of belonging to the university, students are far more likely to transfer or discontinue their education completely. They are not able to progress, as evidenced in Tinto's theory of student departure. By using the intervention to normalize the feelings of uncertainty and create a sense of belonging, students are more likely to cope with the transition to college as they feel supported and surrounded by others going through a similar experience. Though students from all backgrounds experience these feelings of self-doubt and lack of belongingness, the intervention can be particularly helpful to students who experience these feelings at a higher level. For instance, first-generation students often do not feel that they belong in college because they are the first person in their family to pursue a degree. They may feel that other students have it figured out, or that they are the only student confused about certain terminology, or just how to be in college. By identifying students from similar backgrounds who have successfully navigated the college transition to share their stories, the intervention can be tailored to specific student populations.
Hello, I am Dr. Kevin Binning, a social psychologist at the University of Pittsburgh. On the first day of class, we'll do activities with our students to help them get to know each other and to help us get to know them. This is a really great opportunity for these icebreaker activities to do more than just the normal. During transitions, such as the transition to college, questions of belonging are often at the forefront of students' minds. What my colleagues and I have done is we've developed an activity, a brief 35 to 45-minute activity that you as an instructor can run at the beginning of class, at the beginning of the term, that is designed to address students' concerns about belonging. This activity has 4 main components. Number 1, and maybe the most important one, is that you as the instructor verbalize the message. Hey class, I know you may be going through some things right now. It's totally normal and it's going to get better with time. Number 2, have students then reflect on their experiences to date. Have them briefly write a paragraph about a struggle they experienced during the transition to college so far. I'd encourage students to not only think about a struggle, but also how that struggle has improved or might improve in the future. Kind of getting students to think about their experiences as unfolding on a trajectory. The third piece, we then present students with stories from older students that walked in their shoes. So a story might be something along the lines of, I didn't go to a very good high school and I worried whether I would be prepared. Over time, I hit my stride and found a study group. I went to office hours and now things are going well for me. Again, this is just normalizing, giving students an example of other students who went through what they're going through. Fourth, and finally, we have students then talk about it amongst themselves. They've just written about their experiences, they've heard it from the instructor and from older students, and now is their opportunity to hear it from each other. So students then have no problem sharing their experiences, thinking about what adversity they faced. And what we typically do is we then ask them, why do you think so many students don't like to admit when they're struggling? And students will say things like, people are often embarrassed to admit when they're struggling. And critically, they say this out loud so that other people hear it. So what we think what this does is it changes the classroom climate, it changes the culture of the room, and it makes students more willing to acknowledge when they're struggling, more willing to ask for help when they need it, and more willing to help others when others need help. Over time, what we see is they get better grades, come to class more, and some of our colleagues have even found that the benefits of this intervention continue after students graduate and move into the workforce.
This intervention has been successfully implemented at Pitt to help students in undergraduate gateway and large enrollment courses such as physics, economics, and biology, and extended into the graduate and professional programs such as the law school. where we know that students from underrepresented backgrounds experience belonging differently. With these shared stories of struggle and resilience, students build community and belonging in the classroom with each other and their instructors. Our hope is that you can follow these simple steps and do just that in your classroom. Please take some time during the first month of class. I promise it'll make all the difference, and you can help us build a more inclusive and welcoming university. Student success takes all of us, and we can't do it without you. If you have any questions about the intervention or need support as you think about implementing this in your classroom, don't hesitate to reach out to our team. Visit our website, studentsuccess.pitt.edu, or email us anytime at studentsuccess@pitt.edu. Thank you.